From the beautiful campus of Casper College, it's the T-Birds Coaches Show, bringing you game breakdowns, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews. Here's your host, Tom Myler.
Hello, T-Bird fans, and welcome to another episode of Casper College Coaches Show. Joining with me here today in the studio, Coach Tom Parks. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks. I'm here.
Yep, we're glad to have you, but also, we're
glad to see me go.
No.
This is the last one.
I mean, this will be the last one for you for now.
Yeah.
Until we bring you back in.
Do you have rodeo? Does rodeo?
Rodeo doesn't really come talk to me.
You should get the rodeo team on here.
That would be kind of fun. That would be a hoot.
Yeah.
A riot? What's a rodeo term that could be used?
Boot, scootin', boogie.
Ooh, all right. I could take that. Very much so.
Yeah.
Rodeo fans, we'll work on it. We'll work on that one. All right, well, Coach, a little disappointing end to the season.
Yeah.
We're not gonna. I'll sugarcoat it a little bit because I like you, and it's just a bummer because I was bummed too watching the game, and we'll get to that. But let's talk about the first game.
Oh yeah, we did win a game.
You won a game.
Yeah,
you beat Lamar.
We beat Lamar.
I think it was 90-73.
Yeah, played good.
Played very well.
Yeah.
I think your shooting percentage was really up there. It looked great. Your rebounding played great. I think I remember in your practice, it's like, well, whoever's going to win this game is the people that play defense.
Yeah.
Well, your team definitely played defense.
Yeah, no, we did. That was a good game. I think it kind of followed the trend of a few of the games kind of leading up to that one where we had everyone back, which was nice. I thought, we controlled the game for the most part. There was a couple times where they tried to get back in the game and we extended it and made the right plays. But, yeah, I think we definitely had a lot of pride on defense. And Lamar was a scary team because they can really score, and they have some guys that can really shoot it. And, we handled business. It was nice to see. We had a bunch of guys in double figures. I think Ben fouled out in 14 minutes, and I think he had like 15 points and 11 rebounds in 14 minutes.
Holy cow.
Yeah, without any kind of rhythm. Yeah, he was a monster. I actually was looking at his stats the other day. For the last 2 months, he averaged, I think, 13 and 11, for February and March. Yeah, so in our last 8 games, he was phenomenal, and it was fun to see kind of his confidence grow. But, yeah, crazy thing if he would have been able to play, 28 minutes. Who knows what his stats would have been. But he was a big part of it. Yell was really good. And then just the normal guys just chipped in and made plays. But I think we had 5 or 6 in double figures, which was good.
Yeah, it was definitely, team effort, but everyone was definitely feeling it. They were shooting well, getting the rebounds. You couldn't have been more proud as a coach, right?
Yeah, no, it was a good first round game for sure.
And then the second round came.
And Casper College fans, we are super excited you joined us today, and that is all for this episode.
Not quite.
Okay, all right.
Yes. You go up against the number 1 seed of the South, Trinidad. I think this is now their 3rd year in a row that they've been Region 9 champs. Sounds about right, maybe. Really tough team. Can't ever overlook them. Yeah, their record might have been, I think it was, 1915, 1910, 2010, something like that.
It was not, I don't.
So it wasn't like something, super crazy.
Impressive, yeah.
Just, things that went wrong, and definitely very physical game.
Yeah, I think, we had talked about it a lot, the day leading up to that game and the night before, is that, they are the 1 seed. They've won it the last 3 years in a row. I was like, guys, record doesn't matter. We are the underdogs in this situation, and we talked about coming out and playing like that. And I don't think we played. We didn't put the ball in the hoop. We were 28 of 78 from the field. We were atrocious in that aspect. And it's crazy because everything else we did really well. Yeah. We took care of the ball. We didn't out-rebound them, but we had so many misses that, it would have been – we still had 40-something rebounds, and so I think they out-rebounded us by 3 or something like that.
Yeah, they had 50 at 47.
Yeah, so it was just one of those things where, we just needed to make a few more shots, and I thought – I thought it was a little eye-opening with how physical it was at first. It took us, a good 10 minutes in the game to realize, okay, like this is how the game's going to be played. And at that point, we had dug ourselves a 13-point deficit and climbed out of it and did a good job finishing the first half, and did a good job in the second half. But we just, spotting a good team, 13 points, and you're constantly trying to dig out of that hole. We would dig out of it, and then they would extend it, and we dig out of it, and then they extend it. And then we had a bunch of plays where, again, like maybe we had a missed layup or something, or a couple times where we were trying to put the ball back and didn't, and then they'd come down and hit a transition three, and all of a sudden we went from being, down one, potentially up one, to down four. And those things, especially in a playoff game, can be very demoralizing. And but I tell you what, like, I'm as much as I would have liked to win that game, I have to give credit to Trinidad. I mean, Mike Folda, I've only been to Trinidad, Colorado once. I heard he really loves it there. Built at his dream house and all these things is just what I hear through the grapevine, in the coaching industry. But I don't think that there is a handful of people in the coaching industry that could go to Trinidad State Junior College and win back to back four of them in a row. Like, that's pretty dang impressive. We have, I don't know how old their gym is. I don't even think it's a regulation size court. Like, I'm sure that there's plenty of schools in the league that have better scholarships and resources, all these things. And like, he just finds a way to get it done. And he's extremely humble. He's like very soft-spoken, quiet guy, humble, and then he just goes in the court and beats the crap out of you, and I just think that, like, that credit definitely has to be given to them. And I walked away that night and I'm just like, yeah, Trinidad's going to beat Gillette. Like, they just had this will about them to win. And again, it wasn't like, it was just a group of guys that were really, really bought in, and they had a game plan. They executed it, and, they executed their game plan better than we did that day and couldn't get over the hump. So,
I feel like overall the season went well. Just one of those games where it's just, you couldn't get the ball to fall, and where usually you're shooting 40%, you're shooting 33, 35, somewhere in there. Abdul didn't have a great game, but it also sounds like some other factors that you just couldn't find a rhythm, really.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I do think, overall good year. And, we won 24 NJCAA Division I games, and, like, I don't think there's more than, like, 8 teams in the country that did that this year. We were top in a lot of different categories, especially offensive categories. And so, yeah, it was a good year. And I thought, we're continuing to win people over and getting people in the gym to watch our games. And, our guys have handled business off the court and in the classroom. And so, we're definitely trending in the right direction. It's just always tough because when you have a team that's capable of winning it, I've had teams in the past at different schools trying to get through, Florida region tournaments, like the biggest gauntlet in the entire world. And you're sitting there thinking, I got to beat a top, number 3 team in the country, number 7 team in the country, number 4 team in the country, and then we can go to the national tournament. Like, there was obviously like a level of confidence in those situations, but from a realistic standpoint, after you lose the first game or the second game, you're like, yeah, it would have been a long shot. And like here, you're just thinking, dang, like you really had a chance to win. And it was, my second year, so a lot of our guys that came in with me that we recruited, Nate Sasser, Abdul Bashir, Ethan Connery, Nate Tallish, some of those guys, even like Parker Davis, been in the program for a couple years. Like all those guys, like, they kind of bet on me, and they, wanted to come to Casper and maybe wouldn't have came to Casper, but they did, and they saw the vision. And so you just really want it for those guys, but overall, like I said, good year and very appreciative of all the support from everybody.
And that's got to be tough too, of just, this is, I feel like from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, it's a family that you've got. Yeah. So now, you're Abdul Bashir, you're Nate Sasser, all these guys are moving on. You're just like, man, it's kind of sad. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy for him because like Abdul's going to Auburn,
Yeah.
but I'm just it's a bummer because now they're not going to be here.
Well, yeah, and it's just it's just different. You have your day to day that really, I mean, obviously we'll do workouts and stuff,
Yeah.
and probably a lot of study hall because we've been so locked in on basketball. We got to probably recover a couple grades, but there's still like the data. It's just different. Like it's different when you're in the middle of the season and it's like practicing, you're watching film, you're doing scout, you're getting on the road, you're going on the bus, you're going out to eat, like you're doing all these things. There was a press conference, I don't know how many years ago, the guy, I think he was from Boston College, and they asked him like what was your favorite part? It was the last game of the year, and they're like, what was your favorite part about, playing at Boston College? And like he takes like 15 seconds to answer the question. He's just sitting there and he's like hands in his face and like he's like crying. He's just like going out to eat, and it's just, but it's true though. Like you never are going to have those same like times that you have with the team. So like I don't anticipate probably ever coaching Abdul Bashir again. I mean, maybe if he makes the NBA and at some point, I don't even think that's in my goals and dreams, but but the chances are like a very much a long shot. The Nate Sasser of the world, like you're just not going to be in that same role. Like you're still going to be there for him and be a mentor and do all those things, but like, I'm not going to get to yell at Nate Sasser anymore. And
pump him up.
And
right?
and he tells, but I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. Like, he's probably going to drive me crazy in certain areas, but I'm not just going to be like, oh, like, and as crazy as like that sounds like a negative thing, it's just like I'm going to miss all those interactions, So it is hard, and it was a connected group, and I think it took us a little while to get there, but once we got there, man, I mean, those guys have a lot of love for each other, and it was a very tough locker room for sure.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine after a game that, I mean, very physical, so you're probably just tired afterwards, and then mentally you're just exhausted, and emotionally you're drained. I can't imagine how to feel that way, but I mean, either way, I feel like it was a great season, tough loss to end it. Didn't quite reach the goal of where you wanted, but I mean, you had a great team this year, great players. I think next year we'll continue to look up.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the plan.
Well, Coach, for a final question, looking through the whole season, what would you have to say? Just what are you going to miss from this season?
Just going out to eat. No,
ponchos, I guess.
Man, I don't know. Like, there was, I loved, ironically, like, I loved our first game of the year, having a guy like Ethan Connery, who hasn't played a game in a while, just be so hyped up and just come out and beat a good North Idaho team. I love the experiences that we had on the road together. But I tell you this, I mean, I think this might have been a group that made me laugh more than any other group, and just it really, it's just nice. It's refreshing. Like, it's refreshing to be around a bunch of college-age kids who want to play basketball, and it's your job to, like, guide them, but like they make you feel youthful, and they made me laugh a lot. They're a bunch of characters and a bunch of good guys, and sometimes they made me laugh because they'd say something that was funny, and sometimes they made me laugh because they'd say something that made me scratch my head. But either way, I mean, I feel like probably just all those times just on the bus and after practice and waiting for film to start or after it ended. I mean, it's just a good group of guys, and I feel like we shared a lot of really good memories. So overall, probably just the number of times that they made me laugh. So
well, that definitely sounds like some cherished memories.
For sure.
We thank you, Coach, for coming in. We thank you for your season and for all the times you have come in here. We definitely like you, and don't be a stranger and come in more often.
Yeah, I can do the rodeo show too if you want.
Huh? All right.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows this, but we can conclude this series. Last year I know it's a little bit different subject, but I was the celebrity grand champion sheep showman person.
So you're kind of a big deal is what you're talking
Yeah, and then they didn't invite me back. Yeah, I sent emails. I literally requested my name to be entered in
You got to defend your title.
That's what I'm saying. And I didn't even get an email back. And it's just something, and we're working up the chain of command, and someone will be reprimanded.
Yep.
Frank.
Yeah, you can't just have the champion not return.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I took a lot of pride in it. I watched a lot of videos over the summer. I bought a sheep, and it lives in the apartment with us. And
Nice.
I
Messy, probably.
and probably not allowed. But I basically did all the things that I needed to do to repeat that title, and I was not accepted back. And I don't really understand. So there's always next year, I guess. And I can defend my title that year. So, and they do a chili cook-off, and like I look forward to the chili too. And nope, wasn't even invited. So, but anyway, I can do the rodeo show too.
All right.
Yeah, or livestock judging show, whatever you want to. I can learn and pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I do it every day in basketball.
Love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, T-Bird fans, we appreciate you joining us in, and we will hopefully see you next time.